I've been reading at least 100 books a year every single year for the last 12 years. And I just say that to establish some credibility here because I've had to choose my next book literally 1,400 times. But it's not going to take very long at all for me to explain one of the easiest, simplest ways to choose your next book. And it's nothing more complicated than choosing the book that's going to help you solve your next biggest problem. And I'm going to give you some rapid fire recommendations here to get you started. So if you're uncomfortable in conversations, you don't know what to say, just try reading The Next Conversation by Jefferson Fisher. And if you want to get jacked like me, sorry. If you want to get into better shape naturally with a proven plan that's going to work, try something like Diary of a Gym Addict by Tom Moss. Then, if you're a salesperson and you constantly find yourself running up against objections and people saying that they need to think about it, or, I've got to talk to my wife first, just read Mastering Objections by Jeremy Funderburk. Then, if you're a leader, basically in any organization, if you have any sort of leadership problem, you want to step up to that next level. My friend John Miles, his book is it's really, really good. It's won a bunch of awards and everything like that. And I couldn't be happier for him. It's called Passion Struck, and it's really good. And remember, with all of these, you don't have to finish it. Like, there's nothing whatsoever that says you should be reading some other book that's maybe, more prestigious or like, more famous or what have you. I'm 35 years old. I mean, I turned 35 tomorrow. You can give this video a like for my birthday, by the way. Even though I've been around for 35 years, I still have not read War and Peace. And yeah, it's a great book. I plan to read it eventually. I think I'm going to really like it, but I don't feel any pressure. Like, I don't feel like behind or less than somebody else just because I haven't read some book. So don't feel like you have to read anything specifically. And actually, that kind of leads me into a really good way to get out of a reading slump, or actually even better, to build a reading habit in the first place. It's a quote by Naval Ravikant when he just said, read what you love until you love to read. And then that's kind of how you choose your next book too. You pick something that you think you might like. I mean, you have interests. You go outside. You're engaged in the world. You are alive at this moment. Dead people can't watch YouTube videos. And you know what happens if you maybe get 168 pages in and you don't like it? Just close it. You are under no obligation to finish reading it. To kind of wrap up my recommendations here, if you're feeling adrift in negativity, and if you find yourself watching the news, which I never do, read something like this, Instant Positivity by Kristen Butler. She's a really good friend of mine. She's like an awesome lady. Her books are really good. She's got another one called Comfort Zone. That's excellent as well. And speaking of inspiring people, I've got another friend, Jason Wolbers, and his book is called The Power of a Positive Mindset. And it's really good too. Like, if you find like you want to get yourself out of some negative spiral, read something like this, and you'll get like right out of it pretty quickly. And just like negative spirals can happen, positive spirals can happen too. And that comes from just reading books that are positive. They put you, or they move you in a positive direction, and then you start reading happier, more like better books, like more life affirming books. And then you do what they say to do. You notice things that are going right in your life, and you become happier and more grateful about stuff, the things that are going well. And every single person alive has things in their life that is going well. And like, there's something, even if a lot of things are going wrong, there's always something that's going well. And you read books like Power of a Positive Mindset or Instant Positivity. There's a whole bunch of like books like that. As a Man Thinketh. That was published in 1903. One of my absolute favorite books of all time. That book is another fantastic one that will just set your mind in a more positive direction. So if negativity is your biggest current problem, just read something like that. And As a Man Thinketh is like 40 pages long. Literally, it's one of the shortest books I've ever read, and it's just phenomenal. And actually, even you can find free versions of that book. Like, it's more than 100 years old. It's in the public domain, and you can just read it for free, like within seconds from now. I mean, finish, watching the rest of the video and, liking, subscribing, all that. But after you're done doing that, download As a Man Thinketh for free and read it in like an hour and change your life for like the rest of your life, which is actually pretty insane. Now, okay, so time, like if you're facing like time pressures, if you're like you never have enough time and you're always feeling anxious about not having enough time, another fantastic book is Time Anxiety by Chris Guillebeau. And I read this this year, but Chris is actually responsible for me reading 1,000 books before I turned 30. There's a book that he wrote a few years ago, well, a long time ago. It's called The Happiness of Pursuit. and he visited 193 countries before he turned 35, and that was his quest. So the whole book is about pursuing quests that are going to kind of give your life some direction for at least a little while. And what I decided to do, like the quest that I decided on, was to read 1,000 books before I turned 30, which I accomplished. And so yeah, he's got this book now, Time Anxiety. It's really good. So if you're pressed for time, just read this book. And then, man, my last recommendation, one of my favorites. I've read this, I think, 2018. I think I read it a long time ago. It's definitely time for a reread. It's The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Like if you're constantly confused by what other people are even doing, and you're constantly running up against the machinations or just like the difficult personalities of others, and you're just struggling to make sense of people, this book will go just a long way towards doing that. And like, I mean, I've given you what, 10 recommendations, maybe more. But like any one of those books is a starting point. Maybe you get one of those from like the library or Amazon, or like you have it maybe in the next room or whatever. Some of these are popular books, some of them not so much. You can just start reading it today, and just if it's not grabbing you by page 20, page 50. Some people give it 100 pages. But if it's not like pulling you in, by then just read something else. Just make sure that what you're reading is helping you address the biggest current problem that you have. And then once you get ideas from that book, you'll be able to implement those ideas in your life, and your life will get better because, most books, like if you're choosing the right book, and you'll know, most books will give you pretty damn good ideas. And it's all about the implementation. Like that's actually the key to a lot of these books. You have to do it as though your life depends on it, because it truly does. That's one of the things that most people are missing. So I kind of went overboard a little bit. I didn't mean for this video to be even this long. I meant to do just like a couple of minutes, but I get carried away talking about books. Come back to the channel if you like videos like this. I've got obviously a ton of recommendations out of the 1,400 books or so that I've read in the last, I think, 12 years. Well, since 2014. Some are fantastic, and I just cannot stop talking about them. You'll hear about them if you're subscribed to the channel. Some are, it's so great, but, I won't talk about those on this channel. I will just mostly, for the most part, reserve it to books that are just spectacular. So, come back if you're interested in that. And, quick note, if you're an educational content creator like me, see, I do this full time, and, I'm not like super advanced or anything like that, but I have hit $5,000 per month top line revenue. And, that's not a small accomplishment. I know how to do it. So if that's something that you want to do, like if you're a few steps behind me, the first link in the video description is going to take you to Creator Launch Academy, which is my private business mastermind on Skool. And I'm learning as I go. My current results are about $5,000 per month. My goal right now is to reach $50,000 per month. I think I have a pretty damn good shot at July, like this month, being my first $10,000 month, which is pretty exciting. But in that community is basically where I share every single thing that I'm learning, and that you can take away and implement in your own business and go full time even faster. And we have live calls, and like everybody else in the community is really supportive and knowledgeable, and they're just great people. Like I love every single member that's in there. Like actually, like everyone is just cool. So it's the first link in the description. It's not going to be for everybody, obviously, but if that's you, if you're an educational content creator, you want to do this full time, click the link and join the community. But thanks for watching this video. I think you'll like this video right here, which is called 10 Fascinating Books That Will Increase Your Intelligence. And always remember, bookmarks are for quitters, and even if nobody else believes in you, I do.
I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating.